It is 6:46 on this final first alert day of the week, and we have been alerting you to not only heat and humidity, but lately the smoke that has overtaken the region. And you can see we still have it out there this morning. Air quality is not great, in the very unhealthy category, 246, the current air quality index, which is down from yesterday. We were above 400 in the hazardous category yesterday. I think we will be very unhealthy this morning with dense smoke, but by afternoon there will be improvement. And I think by this afternoon, mid-afternoon, late afternoon, we'll probably get more into the moderate category, and that improvement will hang around through the day Saturday, at least most of Saturday. So we'll get rid of a lot of the smoke overnight tonight and into tomorrow. And then it's going to come back Saturday night, and it will hang around Sunday. We'll be back with some dense smoke in the unhealthy category. Not as bad as today, but there'll still be some of that smoke out there. So the smoke we have in place now is out ahead of this front. The front will move through today and force all that smoke out of here to the north and east. So we'll be in good shape. This is this evening, 7 p.m. Maybe an isolated shower popping up, nothing more than that. Then a cold front will come through later Saturday, getting to the south of here by Saturday evening, and that will allow the smoke to make its way back into the area. It will, however, provide a little relief from the humidity being behind the front, but you're going to still be dealing with some smoke on Sunday, and that will, again, come back into play Saturday night and hang around for Sunday. So, yeah, we're going to be dealing with at least some smoke for the time being. The heat index this afternoon will get into the 90s, mid and upper 90s in a lot of spots. The forecast highs are mostly low 90s. We may have a couple locations that only manage upper 80s, but 91 for the high in Madison today, peak heat index of 98. 88 the high Saturday, peak heat index 92, and we'll continue to see that heat index dropping off a bit. Sunday's peak heat index 88, which is only 2 degrees above the air temperature. Some humidity back in play Monday with some thunderstorms, and then we'll lose a lot of the humidity heading into next week. And you can see that big drop into the comfort zone as we move through the middle and the end of next week. So an alert day today, heat, humidity, smoke. Saturday and Sunday we've highlighted in red. Still humid Saturday and pretty warm. Sunday the smoke returns, 86. And you can see that drop in temperatures. 85 Monday, 81 Tuesday, and a high of only 78 by Wednesday of next week. Gabriella?